What's up, guys? Philip at Trade Genius. We're going to get into the weekly outlook for Bitcoin. Going to take a look at starting with the monthly chart and work our way down. Before we do, really quick, we have our summer special on the crypto package. So you're going to get the room access for heavily discounted price and all of the signals. And so if you're looking to get into that, running this for about 48 hours, no discount code needed, just price is already reduced. All right. Okay, let's get into today's charts.
Trade Genius.
All right, guys, looking at the monthly chart, let's start there. Obviously, we're having a nice green candle. We've got about a week to go. So if this can maintain, we're going to have a very bullish close on this candle. Now, you notice previous months on this downtrend, once we get a nice green close, it's usually coincided with hitting that long-term downtrend line, which we'll look at on the daily chart, and that's rolled over. So for me, what's really key is if we get a solid close on the daily above those historically bearish trend lines, I think that might shift sentiment here. And also, too, this is a resistance level that has been drawn. Actually, all these resistance levels have been drawn on the daily. You don't really see it too much on the monthly chart other than maybe here where this monthly candle topped out. Where you do see resistance is up here higher, and so you need to be cognizant of the fact that, let's make that a little thicker so you guys can see that, that this level here at around 9,500, it's going to be 9,500 to about 9,700-ish, but you can see where, the monthly, that was resistance. Monthly poked above it a little bit, all the way up to 99.48. Unfortunately, with the monthlies, you're going to have, even though it doesn't look like much, you're going to have several $100s of range. But from 9,500 to, let's just say 9,900, you're going to see, that area be a block of resistance. So we may venture into it, but I would expect a bit of a pullback from that level as we march higher. But again, we're going to get into some smaller time frames, starting with the daily, to look at what's immediately ahead of us. But you should be cognizant of where this level of support and resistance is on the monthly chart, and that's going to be a big level to have to get through. So I think that would be, if you stand back and we get through some of this lower level stuff above 8K, that's the next area, which will be the 9,500 plus to all the way up to about 9,900 for the next move up. All right, let's drill down to the daily. And as you can see, never really got our pullback. Obviously this was a big level to catch a pullback to. And we're poking back above these trend lines, which we have not really closed above that downtrend line or ever since we really topped out. This has been carrying since the start of this trend lines back in January. So no closes above that on the daily. And here we are. Granted, the day is not over. That's going to be in about 6 hours. We'll have a daily close. But if we can close above that trend line, that is a major deal for the bulls. But we'll have to see how that plays out. We also want to see a daily close above this previous high. That's another important technical thing to do. So today, really want to see this daily bar close above this 76.87 level. If we can do that, I think that's going to be pretty impressive. Daily volume, we got 6 hours to go, but obviously it's going to be a little higher than average than what we've been seeing. So we'll see how this finishes out. But pretty interesting here. Even with this breaking above and closing above these trend lines, we still have to get through this level of resistance. Obviously, the 77.7777 level is going to be pretty stout. And then we also have this bearish fib zone that is going to contain some bearish supply. And so that's also going to have to be worked through. So what we could see here, guys, I think the probability is get up in these levels, consolidate, may roll over. We may not get down to here, though. That's something that we have to be cognizant of, because now we also have a chunk of support in this area. So could roll up into this area and then roll over, creating the shoulder, but we don't get that low. We get down to here and then break the neckline and then zoom up there. And a lot of times what happens is when you get a real obvious spot like that, sometimes it just doesn't get filled. It's like too obvious sometimes in trading. As funny as that might sound, but so just keep that in mind. Drilling down to the 4-hour chart, again, we have some resistance zone right above us. It'll be interesting to see if we can eat through that. Curiously, that resistance zone did not accumulate a whole bunch of volume in there, so we could see a little bit of a squirt up above it, hit this fib extension, and actually that would make sense because what's been happening is people have these stops. Stops are going to be in this resistance zone, and the market makers will hunt those stops. So you may see a brief spike up to even as much as this fib target, and then a kind of a quick move back down. So I would expect that we might see some wicks like we saw in this area here on the 4-hour. We saw a lot of wicks, right? These are stops getting whacked, but the overall support was higher, so it never did roll over. It just consolidated, even though you had some decent moves. So just bear that in mind. Also on the hourly, so this is more for your really short-term trading crowd, we are a bit overbought at this point on the channel, and we did get a buy fire here, so that did march up somewhat, but keep in mind we're in this resistance zone. So if you had a sell fire here with the short swing signal, that would probably be a decent risk reward at that point. So that's where we are at this Monday, about 2 p.m. Eastern, and hope that was helpful on BTC. Real quick, we can take a look at the alt coins. Just to simplify things, guys, I overlaid ETH because ETH more or less tracks the overall alt market. And as you can see, we were having another kind of a Hulk smash episode where Bitcoin moves up, and we see alts for the most part are trending down, as you can see here. This is a classic. This here is a classic Hulk smash pattern, right? They just go inverted. Reason for that, guys are FOMOing in, getting rid of alt positions to get into a rising Bitcoin position. And we're seeing where we have these divergences like that, and then alts will kind of bounce back. And when they do bounce back, like you see over here, the percentage gains are good because they outpace Bitcoin as they come back to more in line with the percentage difference. But as you can see overall, starting from over here where percentage wise we were about the same spot, we're down here with alts and Bitcoin's up here. So not where you want to see for a recovering alt market, but we are oversold here, so we're due for a bounce up here. So I think I'm looking for something in the way of this move here relatively soon here. If we look at the longer term ETC chart I showed you guys the other day, which is over here, this trend line is not too far away for a bounce point for Ethereum, and also that would coincide with a bounce in the alts. So that's getting closer here. We're at 0.058, and we'd be looking for a bounce around the 0.53 area to 0.537. All right. So that's we're getting, I think, close to a longer term bounce. The last time we hit that trend line, look at this move here. We saw a price range increase low to high of 359%. So big moves come off those longer term trend lines. All right, guys, well, that's it for this week's update. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Please hit like and subscribe. Always appreciate that. And I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Take care.
Trade Genius.